Hey, how's it going? I'm Josh from 91 Tech, and I'm guessing I'm not alone here, but I've been using the same Bluetooth speaker for about a decade or so. I had received one for Christmas and then just never bothered upgrading. It's something I never considered. It was a cheap speaker, it wasn't fantastic, but it did the job, and that's this budget JBL speaker here. Sound quality, battery life, it was a pretty okay package for the time, but that was like 10 years ago maybe. It's high time I finally get a newer, higher quality speaker. So it worked out just perfectly when Soundcore came to me wanting to sponsor this video. And that's where this comes in, the Anker Soundcore Motion X600. It's the highest scored Bluetooth speaker under $200 according to DxOMark, and it's built for every situation with 50-watt room-filling sound and spatial audio to give you something like you've never heard before. And after trying it out, I especially wanted to show just how massive of an upgrade this is for me, and hopefully encourage others who haven't bothered buying anything new in a long time to just go ahead and make the leap. This, I think, is the perfect device that's worth sort of a mini splurge. You're not spending that much more on it than a cheaper speaker, but the quality and build is going to be so much more premium. Soundcore is owned by Anker. They make a ton of different tech accessories and products. You've probably used them before. Even my parents have like a cheap Anker speaker they've had for a couple years now, and they love it. They just bought my grandpa one like at Christmas. And speaking of my parents, they recently bought a trailer, and so they've been doing a lot of camping and want me to join them. And now when I do so, I can bring along this high quality speaker as it's built specifically for going around to places, outdoors. It's waterproof and built to withstand the elements. And there's a lot more reason than just that to get this speaker in particular. As said, DxOMark has this at #1 for wireless speakers under $200, and DxOMark is kind of a big deal. And trying it for myself, it doesn't take long to figure out why, even if I'm not much of an audiophile, this speaker has been so highly praised. It's in this really classy 3D grid metal finish, and it's recognized as the best portable spatial audio Bluetooth speaker in the industry. Spatial audio, that's a key phrase you've probably heard before, and it's really, really impressive here. It brings the speaker to the next level, presenting the high-res audio and unparalleled quality for the price point. What the spatial audio does is essentially give a surround sound type experience in spite of it being, well, not very big. The speaker sounds so much bigger than it is. It has 5 drivers and 5 amplifiers positioned to make the audio sound like it's coming from all around you rather than the speaker itself. One of the drivers is upward firing, and so even on the ground outside or so on, it just manages to sound so good. It fills the room and immerses you in the audio like nothing else I've ever tried before. You can customize the EQ to tailor the music to your personal tastes just using the Soundcore app, and there's just so much versatility for those who kind of know what they're doing, which I don't. It sounds pretty great to me straight from the box. Speaking of which, let's back up and look at the unboxing. It's as simple as you would expect for something like this. The box comes in sealed plastic, and if we go ahead and tear all of that off, it's got the paper covering here that we can kind of just lift off. And once we do that, we have the actual box itself. There's a tab that we need to pull out and then open it up, and bam, there we go. There's the speaker. There's some foam inside. It opens up very simply, and it kind of presents itself to you. Definitely a nice unboxing experience. And if we go ahead and grab the handle, inside the box is nothing complicated. It's just the manual, some papers, charging cord, and this is the speaker itself in its glorious seamless aluminum. It looks so nice. For colors, they also have a blue and a green. I of course have the silver here. Comparing it to my old JBL, you can see how much bigger it is. I wouldn't call it big, but it's certainly not small. And there's an attractive button layout on the top, along with of course that carrying handle for easy portability. And you do want that handle because the speaker does have some heft to it. It's not heavy. I'd say it's exactly what you would want and expect for something like this. Too heavy and it's going to be a pain to bring around, but if it's too light, you're going to suspect poor quality. And this speaker is right at the happy medium. You can just tell that it's built well. Before we turn this on, we can see on the back this little rubber tab that can be lifted up, revealing a USB-C port for charging, as well as an aux-in port. This tab here is probably to help with the IPX7 waterproofing, making this an ideal poolside speaker, or even just for outdoors in general, since you don't have to stress about keeping it dry lest it explodes like every other speaker does. I do really appreciate the more subtle branding with the simple Soundcore word mark on the top of the handle. There's no need to plaster your brand absolutely everywhere when it comes to a device like this, and the minimalist approach helps the speaker feel modern and attractive. This would look good wherever you put it, regardless of the context. Heck, I sure wouldn't have put my old JBL speaker with its white plastic on the ground here, but putting the Motion X600 down, and it doesn't feel out of place at all. It just works wherever, and Soundcore really is emphasizing that portability, rugged aspect of it. It's got 12-hour battery life, so you definitely can bring it along with you wherever you go and not have to worry. It's a perfect jack-of-all-trades Bluetooth speaker. It promises high-quality sound without any concessions or difficulties no matter where you're bringing it. So of course there's a few basic buttons on the top here. For pairing the speaker, it's extremely easy. You just hit the Bluetooth button and it'll just show up under your Bluetooth options. It paired in seconds for me. It's one of the fastest pairing experiences I think I've had with anything. Also, when it's paired, it'll just go blue, so that's pretty cool. And then there's those 2 buttons beside it. There's like the 2 ovals around the little man and then the base button. So the base button's simple. It basically turns bass on or off. There's like hardly any if it's off, and then it's pretty strong when it's on. Like you can feel it sort of strong, the vibration. So I quite liked it. Definitely would leave that on for the most part. And as for the other button there, that's for the spatial audio. Now, this speaker claims to be the world's first portable high-fidelity Bluetooth speaker with sky-channel spatial audio. What is that? Well, good question. This one's kind of hard to describe because it's really cool but kind of strange. It's like surround sound, but from this one little speaker. So it kind of sounds like there's audio behind you as well as in front of you, and that doesn't really change too much depending on where you are standing in contrast with the speaker. Basically, wherever you are versus the speaker, it's going to sound fantastic. And the sound kind of just envelops you. It also gets really loud, as in maybe too loud, because my neighbors would definitely not be happy if I turned it up all the way. But enough talk. Just how much better is this than my old speaker? Here's a basic comparison between the two. So that was recorded on my iPhone 14 Pro. I had to stop myself from audibly saying something when the beat dropped on the soundcore because it was just so much better. Now, is this a fair comparison? Absolutely not. That's the point. It's a huge upgrade for me, and I'm willing to bet a lot of you probably have a similar type speaker just kicking around, so why not finally make the leap? Before we wrap this up, let's go ahead and test out the spatial audio, first with it off and then with it on. The high fidelity audio or the spatial audio, all that stuff, you really need to hear it in person to fully grasp it. You're never gonna get it over just a microphone, but still, I think that gives a pretty good impression of the difference that it makes, and it does kind of give you that surround sound feeling that I can't say I've ever really heard from a wireless speaker before. All this for $200 and under when it goes on sale. Yes, this video is sponsored, but I genuinely don't know if you're gonna find a better value than something like this. And of course, links are in the description if you're interested for yourself. But I'm just impressed with how much better it is than my old one. I can't believe I've waited this long to finally upgrade, and I'm looking forward to bringing this around with me on vacation, going camping and things. There's nothing quite like listening to Smash Mouth's All-Star in high-res spatial audio by the ocean. Big thank you to Soundcore for sponsoring this video. It really makes a big difference for the channel to be able to do stuff like this, and so thank you, the viewer, for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know, what do you have in terms of wireless speakers? What are you using? Are you like me? Have you been using the same one for like a decade? Can't wait to see your comments down below, especially the ones that call me a sellout. I always love those ones. Jokes aside, I do appreciate you guys watching. Maybe hit that like button, consider subscribing for more tech content. That's it from me. I'm Josh from 91 Tech, and I will see you all next time.